So this was something that I didn't like about Carlo's writing, Carlo's part of the book, and it's sort of encapsulated in that conversation about the cultural center, the museum in, where was it? Was it Tahiti?
It's not Tahiti, but it's one of those. Yeah, I've forgotten the island now.
Yeah, damn, I don't remember. But in French Polynesia,
Right.
and they and Carlo was what raised this question of what right do you have, a European, to come to this island and appropriate these people's culture and use it to build an edifice to your ego? And Renzo said, "Stop talking nonsense," and then went on with his, with what he wanted to say. But that was an annoying thread to me through that part of the book because it breaks people apart rather than pulling them together.
Yeah, again, I read that quite differently. I thought that, first of all, the question of cultural appropriation is very much of the moment.
Yeah.
And anyone who belongs to any minority culture or so-called minority culture recognizes the loss of patrimony to larger colonial forces. And since, the rise of the post-colonial era ongoing through until now, we're having this discussion. I just read in the papers 2 or 3 days ago where an Inuit tribe in Canada is demanding that the Vatican return a kayak that they have from hundreds of years ago because it's cultural patrimony for these people. So the question of voice and whose voice gets heard.
Good. I'm glad you came back to that.
Is a very, very crucial question. Piano's rejection of it is very, very interesting, I thought, because it is hard to read in that rejection whether he's rejecting the notion of appropriation or whether he's rejecting the notion that his role in the development of this place was a participation in a cultural appropriation. You can't, I couldn't parse that out.
Mm-hmm.
That remained obscure for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not disinclined in that moment to believe that that the notion of being able was not in fact part of what his thinking was. In other words, well, I can do this. Maybe someone else, but I can do this. I'm not convinced that I wouldn't be convinced that wasn't part of his thinking. And I think that it's just good fortune that he's a capable communicator.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing in his personal history that would make me think that he didn't assume that he could do better
than anybody else.
Than what was presently at hand. I don't
Right.
think he's one of those. I don't think he's one of those. No one else can do this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think of the resources at hand, he thought he could do the job well, and
Yeah.
and clearly his clients felt that way too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So
that was how I thought. That's what I thought he meant too. That I can do, I don't want to worry about, I don't want to talk about these abstractions because they get in the way of doing the real work, which I know that I can do. And I feel that way myself, that if you let yourself get caught up in the question of what part does my creation have to play in global society, it paralyzes you, and you end up doing nothing. So you have to shut out those other voices.
Yeah. Here we always ask ourselves those questions that we can't answer.
Yeah.
What role does this play in the global picture? We choose the role that we want for it to play, but before we choose that role, we ask ourselves the question, and then we try to answer it. We recognize that, our answers are always tentative, and that we can be wrong. But nothing is more detrimental to life than paralysis. So recognizing the peril of paralysis is merely mature, but stopping because of it is just painful and threatening to life. So, I think, you say, well, it is this or do nothing. And this is my best idea so far. So I'm going to do that rather than nothing. And then as I go, I'll learn. And I think that, that is really, really the thing, that building is learning, which means that you had a proposal that might not necessarily have been the answer. And it might not even be the place you end up. But you act, and as you're acting, you learn. And then you do what you can do, you try what you can try. But in acting, you learn you discover why the world is fascinating. And of course, that's the other thing that I draw from the book. One of the things I really loved about the book was the way it reminded me of how fascinating the world can be, and how connected we can feel in the most ordinary language. I mean, there wasn't a point in this book where I thought to myself, wow, that's great writing. It's just straightforward, plain spoken. And I think the marvel of it was that it connected me. The marvel of it for me was that it connected me to the past, the present, and made me excited about tomorrow. Helped me to be excited about the work we do here in the studio. Helped me to be excited about the connections that we have and the challenges that we have, because, as you know, we've worked through some threats to our existence and that kind of thing, and that was very, and continues to be very, very exciting. And a reason to come in here in the morning.
Voyage of discovery.
Well, yeah, and if the thing, I think the thing is, and I think the thing that I find troubling about works that have the answers is that, first of all, that can't be, but but secondly, you also, if it's like that, and can be included in something that's 300 pages long, why bother to get up in the morning? Just read the book, consider the case closed, and eat a sandwich. But if you know that no solution is entirely conclusive, if you know that every solution is merely a proposition, then now you can play. Now you can go out and try. Now you can fail. Now you can do all those things that are so important to living. You can be alive. And I think that's one of the things that that book reminded me, because it's an easy thing to forget. I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this. And it's easy to forget, oh, wait a minute, I'm alive.
Very good. Well, I'm actually going to, because we're running out of time, otherwise,
okay.
I would ask you more questions and probe more deeply, but here's my suggestion. What if, because now it's my turn to suggest a book.
Oh, yeah.
And so what if next time we read the Book of Joy, which is all of the things that you said that you have no time for.
Ah, okay.
It's about 300 pages. It's and it talks about what should I do when. And what it really is a conversation between the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu.
Yeah.
And it will be it's interestingly different from Atlantis, but has some connections to it as well.
Yeah, just from knowing works by the two of them, I would find it, I expect to find it rather closely connected. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Book of Joy it is.
Okay. Good plan. Haha. We're making a plan after all. But who knows what will happen next
That's
time.
a different kind of plan.
It's a different kind of plan. Okay.
That's a different kind of plan.
It's like good cholesterol and bad cholesterol.
That's not about what the world will be like on Thursday.
Right.
Which we all know we have no idea about, but which we can't resist doing anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway, thank you for this conversation.
Thank you.
As always, it's kind of provocative, and helps to, it helps me to remember. It's funny. I spoke about this rather with some sense of determination, but it was also this moment of discovery when I thought, oh, that is why we come in every day. We come in, we come in to create some sort of chaos. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And then we try to find people who can help us explore it.
Yeah.
So,
you've been talking to me about chaos for a while, and I've been kind of feeling isn't chaos bad? But today you made it. Today I got it.
I made the case for chaos.
You made a good case for chaos.
Well, it's been a good friend to me for many, many years. Pardon me. And so when it comes through the door, I always pull out a chair for it.
I'm imagining some kind of demon.
It's funny. I don't see it that way. I just see it as a visitor with unruly hair.
Yeah. Okay. He's not so bad. He's a little horns. Okay. You have to go, but thanks a lot, Paul.
Thank you very much, Dan. And I'm going to look forward to to taking a read on the Book of Joy.
Okay, all right, that's our
Okay.
next one. I'm excited.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much. Take care. Have a good day. Regards to the family.